Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. You know, I'm really debating if this attire is right. I thought it was going to be cold out here. Now I'm like, am I going to be hot now when I'm wearing? But I can't decide if I were to change, then I'd probably be cold. You know what I mean? Because right now I feel great, but the sun is actually very nice today. I did not expect this. I thought it was going to be much colder. I'm so thankful I'm not in New York. I mean, I'm reminiscing a lot about New York, but I'm also like, oh, thank goodness. It's so nice to come outside and have it be like beautiful and I can be in sandals. Then freezing. They said the harbor like froze over. Like they were like, having a chip at their ice. I'm like, oh my gosh. So today we went to a morning meeting and it was great. I'll tell you guys a little bit. I'm gonna do a little nunchucks and then I'll pump a squat. So hope everyone's having a great day. I'm really
Oh, Don John says hello, and Handling the Howard says hello.
Hello, Don John. Hello, Handling the Howard. Really enjoying being sober. It's really good. I'll tell you a couple funny things this morning in a little bit. But I'm going to do a little bit of nunchucks. Okay? And then I'm just going to chat about the day. So, alright, here we go. I'm really slow at this. I've only been doing this a couple of days. Like, stop and start. I had a big long time in between. Wait and do. So it's like you gotta build your strength back. But also, I'm way less coordinated as I'm not as strong. So like that, I'm like trying to like make sure, cause like I'm doing it on these rocks, but when I have been doing it, you know, more consistently, I don't know, everything kind of just like flows together. But when you first get back, then you're like, oh gosh, don't trip on the rocks, don't like smack yourself in the head, which you guys saw the other day that I did. So it's the stronger you get, the more like coordinated you are too, because I don't know. But when you're kind of weak or you know, out of practice, then like you end up getting hurt more because you're just like, I don't know, you're not as like on it, you know? So that's kind of how I am now. So this will be the time you guys will witness if I hurt myself. I did that one day. That one wasn't bad. I've hurt myself pretty bad in the past with the nunchucks. Lately, I have not, knock on wood, you know. These are hard bamboo because they're very hard. So if you don't know, if you think I'm like just doing like, these are like very hard. So when they hit you, it hurts. But it's hard to describe because it's like something where you feel like you're learning and you, I don't know, you feel stronger. Kind of like with AA. Anyways, I'll get into that. Okay. Ah, my hand comes up a little. Okay. So slow these days. But it feels good. Please hit the likes and subscribe or follow or come back. Enjoy your company. Oh, okay, I'm gonna do it up, like not turning from it. I'm so like out of practice. It's like, woof. Okay. This made really good. So. Oof. Man, I'm gonna do one more swing around. I think I want to do longer, but my arms are starting to get like wobbly. I can feel it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start hurting myself. There's the one thing with nunchucks is you can't really push yourself that hard. Like you're gonna just start hitting yourself, and then you go, okay, time to take a break. We're like, sometimes people like work out to like really extremes, you know, but with nunchucks they kind of like tell you when you're like, okay, that's enough. So, and each day, if you keep doing them, you can do it longer and you get stronger, you know. But if you haven't done it in a while like me, you're much slower, can't do as many. But I definitely feel the muscles in my arm working. Some of them that I haven't really, that I only use probably when I do the nunchucks. I can really feel them. All right. That's good for today. That's fine. Okay, where should I sit? Where's good? Okay, so yeah. Right here is good.
That's good. I'm gonna go shopping.
Oh, thank you. Richard's gonna go get some beef and some water. It's actually all we need today because he went yesterday for the ladies. Got a whole ton of stuff, but we need some beef and water. Our favorite things. Anyways, let me have a sip of water here. An Arrowhead. I like drinking spring water. When I'm sober, I only drink water. Guys, when I'm sober, I only drink water. Then when I drink alcohol, then I pretty much only drink alcohol. I don't even drink water. I forget to drink water. That's one of the biggest issues with me when I drink too, is the level of dehydration I get. Ooh, it's bad. Alrighty. I'm gonna turn. So it's like kind of proper, like when someone's doing one of those. You know how those shows, they kind of turn to the sides, because they're like, everybody, very unladylike. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this morning we went to an AA meeting, and I'm loving AA. So if you guys are like, nah, you keep talking about AA, I'm like, sorry, it's become a new part of my life. Like, I had it when I was younger, and I loved it then too. Honestly, when I was 22, I loved it. But then, I don't know, life happens, and I was young, and I didn't realize how much of an alcoholic I was. I always knew I was an alcoholic, though. That I really adapted to really fast. That was not, some people struggle with that. No, as soon as, I got to do, I want to switch it. I'm an alcoholic, yeah, definitely. I felt like once that occurred. So, but I would drink and then be like, oh, it's okay, I'm an alcoholic. That's just, how I am or whatever. I just drink horribly and you gotta deal with it. But this last, the amount of time that we've been going, the second time that I came back, I should say, to second and last time. I don't want to ever leave AA now. It's even more welcoming and I feel accepted, and I just really like it. So, but this morning I was gonna say, it's so hard. You want to be positive all the time, and especially when you're doing the program here, trying to be sober. I'm doing AA, whatever people do. NA, people do OA, people do GA. I think that's gambling. They have a bunch of different ones. And maybe you don't go to anything like that, but maybe you're just trying to be positive in life, and it's so easy to just start judging other people or kind of complaining about something. So we really like these 2 morning meetings, and one's at 7 a.m., one's at 8 a.m. So we can't go to both on the same day. So we're like, and you can't. So it's one where we have to go every other day. So today we went to the 8 a.m. one. But then both, it was funny, I didn't talk about it until after the meeting, but I was it was the first time that I was really not enjoying the meeting that much, where I was really tired and stuff, and I was like, oh, I should have gotten to my 7 a.m. I was starting to be and then all of a sudden, some other people just started talking, and then there was just some of the most profound things that were said, and I was like, man, I'm so quick to want to I want to get stuck in a rut even with the A, I wanted to stay at the one meeting because I feel comfortable there, and I don't want to change it, and then I'm really quick to judge the other meetings because we really like that one meeting. But I really have liked most of the meetings, and there wasn't really one that I didn't like. It was just, there's certain vibes and certain ones that we liked better, but there wasn't any, I haven't disliked anyone, so that's, people are so quick, especially people like me, that are, addicts to just judge. And I find myself, I have to be really quick I have to be really careful. Because me and Richard go together to a lot of the meetings. We go separate too, and there's a women's meeting that I was going to go to today, but I didn't know it was right after that meeting. I was like, oh, I'm too hungry. We hadn't had breakfast, so it was the the women's meeting was going to start at 9:15. So we went to the 8 to 9, and then the women's was going to start from 9:15. And I was like, man, I need to have some breakfast because I was getting hungry and tired. So I was bummed that I was like, oh, is it every day? And they're like, no, only on Saturday. I was like, oh. So I am looking for a women's meeting, but what I find is if me and Rich go together, then I judge people, not in like a negative, more like a, I don't know, it's not like a where you're like, oh, that person's this or that, but more just like where it's hard to, isn't like a commenting, you know what I mean, but it's a judgment, you know what I mean, and I'm really working on that. And even like Richard was talking about that we should maybe bring up like some topics, because we were watching like some political stuff, which drives me nuts. We were watching like Bill Maher and, you know, all this political stuff going on. And I said, you know, I just feel like it just brings up such like you're always going to have two sides, and it's so controversial. Like, it's just like there's so much animosity. Like, I'm like, I know those things get views and they get, you know, popularity when people are, you know, I know our channel took off when I was being obnoxious. I wasn't trying. That was not intentional. That's just how I was in that moment, which I've worked on a lot now. I'm not acting like that anymore, but give me alcohol and who knows. So that's why I stay away from it now. But this guy said this wonderful thing today that just made so much sense to me, and I was like, oh, man. He said he was struggling with it. He was an alcoholic early on in his sobriety, and he'd like gone to treatment several times already, but he still was like, I don't know if I'm alcoholic. And I guess the nurse said, well, here, I got a test for you to see if you're alcoholic. He's like, there's a test? She's like, yeah. She's like, okay. The test is if you get released, or when you get released, can you drink every day for, I think it's like 30 days or something, or 3 weeks, every day for 3 weeks, just 2 beers, but like 2 beers each day. And that's it. So you have to drink the 2 beers, so you can't like skip it. So you have to drink the 2 beers, but then you can't drink anymore, and that's all you can do for 30 days. And you have to drink both. Like, and he's like, oh no, I can't do that. And most alcoholics can't. Like, that would be, oh no. Because once you have 2, you can't stop. Especially, sometimes not even 1, but especially 2. You might be able to stop with 1 if you like, you know, roll stuff, but 2, no. So you're done for most people that are alcoholics. And to do that every day, that would just be so irritating. And I thought about sharing today, but then it was getting towards the end, and then I was going to share, and then someone jumped in, and I was like, okay, I'll get it next time. But I was going to share that when I was sneaking the alcohol, it was just, oh my gosh, that was just torture. Because I would only get like 2, but then I would try to get more. But Richard's pretty on it. Like, if I'm like, what do you want to go to the store for all of a sudden? You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing things out of habits, and then it shows I'm sneaking something, you know what I mean? And so I would just sit there if I ever, and I was like, this is torture. Like, it is better to just avoid it than to do like that if you're an alcoholic. I mean, that's just, I mean, because once you have that 1 or 2, even 1, then all day you're like, oh, I want more. And if you can't, you're like, why did I even start this in the first place? And so it's kind of a good thing for me to think about for staying sober. Is like, it is so true, because like there isn't really much of a stop for me. So it is torture pretty much from the time I start to the time I end, you know what I mean? But when I don't, life is pretty good for me. Like, it's like, you know, things are working out. We were just talking about, and I actually probably wore the wrong attire now, I'm realizing. It's a little bit more warm than I thought it would be. I could almost wear a t-shirt. I'm gonna have to go inside and change in a minute. But I don't know if I want to take this off, because I don't know if you're gonna see through this shirt. But yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. It's too hot. But anyways, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I realized it's like, it is, so, okay, I've always said this when it comes to alcohol, because I, like I said, realized I was an alcoholic since I was like 22. So I realized abstinence from alcohol is the easiest thing. But then I've messed up throughout the years. But I've always said that some other addictions are harder, like food addiction is harder, because, which is another thing I've struggled with in my past. And that was harder because you still have to eat, so you have to learn how to monitor. And that is very difficult. So I know like certain things, I don't know what your addiction is that you might struggle with, but some of them you have to monitor, which is almost harder if it's something you really struggle with where you overdo it, So alcohol can be easier once you really let it go, because you just avoid it. You just literally avoid it. And I did that for years. I mean, I was sober for years, but I had, gotten out of AA. So I think you need I think it's good to keep going with the spirituality and fellowship with other people and stuff, because I think eventually, if you're really an alcoholic, you'll probably mess up again. So I want to keep going. As I keep going back. So anyways, that's my little AA thing for the morning. But yeah, it's a gorgeous day in Las Vegas. I feel really fortunate because it's really cold in a lot of places right now, right? I don't know if it's getting better now. I don't know, my sleeve is getting nice out here. Richard was even saying, it's not going to be long before we're going to be tanning again in the backyard. We're going to the pool. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Vegas does give you warm enough to at least lay outside. Maybe not always the pool, but around March it starts to get warm enough. In April, definitely. But when we moved to Manhattan in 2021, we moved April 1st, which was the day they legalized weed in Manhattan, which was really strange, because back then we were smoking weed, and we thought, what are the chances the day we got there? But the other thing was, I thought it would be warm because we left Vegas and it was really nice. We weren't in shorts, but we were in light. I remember, I was in light pants and a very, very light, not really it's not even a jacket. It'd be a fashion thing, it was a thing. I got it from H&M. Yeah, the thing was, it was $10 something. The thing, it was not. I wore it like a jacket. It was great on the plane because the planes get kind of chilly, so it was it covered your arms and it was a jacket, but it was this tan thing. It was really, really light, almost like a scarf material, And I had no idea what I was getting into in New York. I was we get there and I guess some big storm had just come through, and it was freezing. It was so darn cold. We could feel it the second you got off the plane, because you can feel it when you walk through what's that thing? It connects the plane to the terminal, that little tunnel. And we're oh dear. And then we had a condo when we first got there, but it was not going to be ready for a couple more days. So the first couple of days we stayed in, it was from bookings, but it was kind of like an Airbnb because it was like an apartment. It wasn't a hotel. And it was a 6-story walk up. And we didn't know that. And we didn't know it was on the 6th floor is where we were going to go. But it was one of those really windy ones. And we had all these bags because we were moving to Manhattan, but on the plane. So we had 2 massive suitcases, 2 carry-on suitcases, 2 backpacks, tripods. We totally maxed out. We flew first class, so they let us have much stuff as you want. Which was awesome. We had actually had those tickets during COVID when they were super cheap. They were the price of economy. Otherwise, we'd never fly first class. I would never pay that much. I'm such a cheapskate, but it was great. But anyways, so good thing, because our stuff was so heavy. Otherwise, they wouldn't even let you, it was 100 pounds for each suitcase. So we had to lug that stuff up there, and we were only staying there for I think it was 2 or 3 days. And we're oh, this is just a pain in the neck. So it was that was our welcome to New York, because it was freezing cold, so cold, some big storm would come through recently. Because April I thought would be much warmer. It was not. And then, the walk up, and then I would go, at least let's take a hot shower, or a bath. It was nice. After it was freezing. We find out the water was a trickle, from the shower and from the bath. I was like, oh dear. And then it didn't have a plug. So we tried to put like a towel in there, you know. And, oh, it also was cold. So Virginia was trying to like heat up water in the sink with a bucket, with a pan, and bring it over there. And we're sitting there and we're like, welcome to Manhattan. Like, and it's not cheap for these places either. And you're like, people pay for this kind of experience? I was like, because it's not affordable for these places, you know. It's not like, oh, I mean, that one was probably cheaper because it was, you know, like an apartment situation, but no, I mean, it's more expensive than most hotels in most places, you know. And I was like, all right. And then we apparently like listened to our music too loud or something, which we didn't listen. We didn't even have a speaker. It was like an iPad or something. And the neighbors, I guess the walls were very thin. And so then they were like, oh, because it was, what it is, those apartment complexes don't want people having those, like tourists coming in and out. So they complain about everything. They complained about us. Oh, the first noise they complained about was when we were lugging our suitcases up the steps. But what are you going to do? It was difficult. They were like, so those, I don't like staying in those. We found that staying in like Airbnbs and stuff are a nightmare because the other people around that, so like your host might be fine and think, oh yeah, you guys are great, whatever, you know. But the neighbors around don't like that there's all these people coming in and out, all these transient like people, you know, because it's not people that live there long term. So it's probably a lot more a noise and especially people, you know, suitcases, and, you know, and, oh gosh, okay. And so they complain a lot about, like, way more than you'd ever get at a hotel. Like at a hotel, you know, like no noise complaints. But if you're staying at where it's an apartment where everyone else is a resident, and then they, you know, someone is doing their Airbnb or have it be Bookings does a similar thing, or some of the other ones. Then all of the other residents complain like crazy about every hotel guest, basically. So they're just not fun.
Jessica is in the hospital and she has some blood clot issues.
Oh gosh, Jessica, because I gotta help you get better.
But the good news is that she says she's feeling better now.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, and I hope you heal well.
And Jessica says that she's getting sleepy, so she has to go.
Okay.
So she said, "Want to say bye?"
Goodbye, Jessica. Get well soon.
I'm gonna head with Joy. I'm gonna head with Annette now.
Annette, yeah.
And get.
Okay, don't forget your wallet.
You had them all, except for Texas Tech.
You know,
I put them on 2 different bets. And the other way, I got the first 7. Missed one. I got another one with 16.
You know, what makes me mad is I hesitated on that one.
Did you really?
Yeah, because that's a UCF one, isn't it?
Right. You remembered it. Yeah, UCF Knights one. See, look. Sick. Dukes, Houston. Clemson,
I mean, how many was
Markel, Georgetown, NC Wolfpack, and then Aggies.
How many
and then Utah right here. These are all new ones that are going. But look, how many? I know, it goes on and on and on.
Is that one over?
It just ended. And we had several. We got them up here too. Okay, so let's do another one.
I have like a 20-leg parlay that I had like 10 of them, basically. And I just missed one of them. So now the other ones were still going too. They're still active, and I was doing good. I can't believe it.
So let's go.
Picked all these
let's try again.
college basketball teams. The only one I had wrong was Texas Tech.
Here we go. You just have to do it live. Here we go. I don't care.
I thought about doing UCF.
State or Missouri.
Mississippi.
Baylor or West Virginia.
Baylor.
California. Hold on. Let's go, Mississippi. California or Miami? That's Berkeley.
Oh, Miami.
BYU or Kansas?
BYU.
No. Indiana or UCLA?
Indiana.
Stanford or Florida State?
Stanford.
Notre Dame or Syracuse?
Notre Dame.
Kentucky or Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Rutgers or USC?
USC.
Okay.
Let's go.
See if we can do anything to this one today.
These guys go with my feelings. Sometimes I'm really good, and sometimes I'm really bad. So I could be like a reverse
Sometimes
indicator.
you're hot, sometimes you're not.
Yeah,
Connecticut
hot,
versus
sometimes
Creighton.
I'm cool. Sometimes I'm freezing, sometimes I'm burning up.
Connecticut versus Creighton.
Connecticut.
It's nice. You can almost lay out now.
I know. I'm like, I don't
Washington versus
Oh,
Northwestern.
try to give me some lotion. We say it again.
Washington or Northwestern?
Northwestern.
Auburn or Tennessee?
Auburn.
Colorado State or Wyoming?
Wyoming. Colorado messed me up yesterday.
Louisiana Tech or Sam Houston State?
Sam Houston.
St. Mary's or Gonzaga?
St. Mary.
Okay, good luck to you.
Do you mind bringing me the lotion?
Oh my gosh, okay, so if, just so you guys know, if that were to come in, if those teams that you pick win, a $2 bet will win us $4,773.74, baby.
Let's go. Can you bring me the lotion? We just have fun with it. That means my odds are slim on that one.
Well, it's
Extremely
It's
slim.
just as slim as the other one.
I know
But you
that
had
was
10 of them of the 16.
Texas.
And you're still going.
Can I have the lotion, por favor?
Where's the lotion?
In your tray. Yeah, please, because I want to pull my pants. Because it's actually warm, but not with these dry legs. Well, you guys will be like, have to put your sunshades on over there. So I went to a brand new high school 100 years ago. That I didn't want to go to a brand new high school. They were opening the new school in my town, and my sister was going to be a senior at the one I wanted to go to, which was called Ponderosa. I grew up in Placerville, California, which is in between Sacramento and Tahoe. But that's in Shingle Springs, which is all part of Placerville. They call it Placerville, but there's all these little sublets, like how Summerlin is still Las Vegas. So yeah, Shingle Springs, where my sister's school was, and El Dorado is the town which is still kind of all Placerville in a sense, where they put Union Mine. And I wanted so bad to be a freshman while my sister was a senior. I was like, that would be awesome. I mean, it could be popular or something, you know? And I wanted to be a cheerleader. So my mom wanted me to go to the new school because we ended up moving, like probably a month or two before school started, about 2 feet from the school. I mean, literally, like I could throw a rock at the school almost. From our new house, we had to go this roundabout way to it because there had all these gates. But it was like, oh, there it is. So my mom, oh, you gotta go to the new school. And I was like, but the new school was gonna have just freshmen and sophomore. And I thought, that's lame. I don't want to go to a high school that only has 2 grades. That's not high school. 2 grades is ridiculous. Oh, you love it. Oh, they spent like $16 million or something, which was, I guess, a lot back then. It's probably nothing now for a school. But I end up missing, my mom doesn't tell me the right, because I used to go visit my dad in LA all summer, all through from the time I was like 10 to like 16. So I moved down there. All throughout the summer, my mom would let me know like when certain things were like my dance recitals or cheerleading things. Well, she told me the wrong date, so I missed the cheerleading tryouts for my sister's school. So I could have gone to school, but I wanted to be a cheerleader, and I couldn't be a cheerleader there. So I was like, oh no. So my mom was like, oh, but you could be a cheerleader at the new school. And I was like, oh, fine. So I got, wrapped in there. I ended up becoming a cheerleader. But anyways, I forgot where the point of the story was going, honestly, because I was rambling today. But I think, like, there's so many things, like, in my life that were just weirder than other people. Like, it was weird going to a high school with only 2 grades, you know, and then I ended up graduating as a junior. So, like, imagine that. So it was like, I was there as a freshman and a sophomore and then a junior. So I saw people, the class just kept going up. So the class that had been, the one that were sophomores were now seniors. So my last year was a junior. I saw a full high school year, which was like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So only 1 year of high school did I have all 4 classes. So it was a weird experience, but I don't know the point of that at all. Oh, he didn't bring me the darn lotion. There was a point with the lotion, I think, but I don't remember. Okay, well, now I'm getting hot. I want to pull my lip. These are like white. These are like whites. Oh, that was the point of the story. Whoa, it took me a second. It was a new school, and they had all these like themes and stuff. So like when the school first opened, everyone, all the teachers wore these things that said, "With a future so bright, you better wear shades." And I always just thought that was the corniest thing ever. Like, I don't know, like, I don't know why. As a high school student, you're like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Future so, but I do, like, it's funny, like, as I'm in AA, to circle back around, like, there's just so much positivity, and it's like, why when we're young or when we're in addiction, do we frown upon people that are being positive? It's almost like I did not like positive people if I was being grumpy. Like, I can't stand when Richard's in a good mood when I'm in a bad mood. Not that I want him to be in a good mood, but like if I'm in a terrible mood and he's just like bouncing off the ceilings, and I'm like, who put you in a good mood when I'm sure being a, you know what I mean? Or like if he has all this energy, I'm tired. But like, you know, if we're, it's not that I want him to be happy, that's not really bad, but it's like, it is where it's like a jealousy thing where you go like, but it's when you're depressed, I realize. Because it seemed like when you're in an addiction, like I know like when I drink, I want other people to drink. So today at the meeting, you know, a lot of people, when they stop drinking, they then go to a lot of sugar or chocolate or caffeine, which, you know, that's probably a better option for them than the alcohol, but those things can have negative effects too. So, and people that, you know, are really addicted to sugar, really push sugar, like, you know, like your grandma probably pushes, you know, she bakes all the time. So at the meeting, you know, no one was actually celebrating a birthday. It was a birthday in A, you know, your sobriety birthday. But they brought a cake just in case, because they celebrate, this is the time when they do. But this meeting, no one actually was. So they were passing the cake around, and me and Richard both said we didn't want it, but the guy like literally forced it. And he was like, no, you have to have some, you have to take it. And we took it, but we didn't eat it. But it's like, we don't eat cake. And, you know, it's in their world, like someone that, you know, does eat more sugar, they get their feelings hurt if you turn down the food, especially because this guy had brought the cake. And so we took it, but we didn't eat it, you know, but we said, oh no, we're good. And a lot of people were saying that, and he was very pushy about it. And it's not that the guy did anything wrong, but it's interesting how when deep down, I think we know, like when we're eating, like what we would, you know, classify in whatever we've learned that is kind of like, not like bad food is bad word, but like the food that maybe doesn't make us feel the best, you know, that is for our body not as beneficial. You feel more bad about it, you know, like you're like, oh, I'm gonna go treat myself, and I'm gonna go have this thing. And that's how people feel with like alcohol or drugs a lot of times, like it's like a celebration. So when you're in that moment, you really don't like people that are not in that moment. You know, I mean, I've been that pusher before, and like on many levels with food and alcohol. Definitely with the alcohol when I was young. I remember very distinctly pushing on a girl that was not old enough, but she was married to a guy in the Air Force, so she was not like young, but she was, I think, about to turn 21. So she was not old enough to go to the bars with us. But I was very pushy when we were at her house to like, for her to drink, but she didn't really like drinking because she couldn't go out with us. So like, we would go pre-drink at their house, and then her husband would leave her at home because she couldn't go to the bars. And she wasn't in the Air Force, he was in the Air Force. And all of us, you know, a ton of us, people, probably like 10 of us, would pile out on a Friday or Saturday night and go to the bars. We'd get these, back then they had these taxis that were big, those big station wagons. You know, the one that fit like 8 people. You know, it beep when you back up with the wood paneling and stuff. And we had this one lady, she had a mullet. No joke, this is in Oklahoma City. And we had her number because she would get people's business cards, and it was their cars, you know, they were driving. So these taxis used to be people's vehicles in certain cities. So this lady had this big ass, so we loved this because we could, and she would let us put as many people as we could fit in there, you know, not legally, you know, because Oklahoma didn't even have a seatbelt law when I lived in Oklahoma. It started at the end of when I lived there. They were starting the seatbelt law. So she, oh yeah. So we loved it because then we could share the fare, because it was very expensive back then to take a taxi. But anyways, I keep like, oh, so I was very pushy with this girl that I realized like that's just so rude, because we were pre-drinking at her house, and then I'm saying, oh, drink, and then she has to just sit there while we all go out. And she's like, no, I don't want it. And I would feel like she was a fuddy-duddy, you know? Oh, she's boring, you know? But later when she turned 21, and then we became really good friends. But it's just like, now I feel so bad for being that person. You know, they're even the person that maybe kind of a little bit laughed about the people that, you know, have to go to AA all the time, you know, for the rest of their life. And think, oh, there's something's wrong with them, that now they're addicted to AA or whatever. But now I'm like, it actually makes sense. If you're an alcoholic, it really helps. like you know, because I keep, even early on when we first started going, I said, you know, maybe we'll just go for a certain amount of time and then maybe not go like every day. But then like, I'm like, I really just want to go every day. And Richard often wants to go several times a day, and I want to go, but I am just like in the mornings, I'm good. Like if we go to several morning meetings, I'm good. But evening is so hard for me, and he wants to go to the evening ones. I am just not an evening person. Like, if I can be, I like to be home around 5 or 6 p.m. and then not have to go back out again. Like if that would be my choice. Like run all my errands, do all my meetings, everything in the morning. And it's not that I want to drink at night, because that's actually not even, like, it's funny, when I drink, I start in the morning. So it's not a thing like that. It's just, I am not a night person. But when I drink, I actually do stay up at night, which is weird, because I'm like, oh, I'm awake, it's late, that's weird. But when and the only thing that makes me go to sleep is when I pass out, you know. So I try to be as flexible as possible, though, because I know it's important for me to go to as many meetings as possible. But we definitely go at least once a day. But it's always uplifting. So I don't know. I just recommend it if you guys are struggling, because you guys saw I was struggling really bad this last year, and it didn't help my trips to New York. And it's hard because I want to go to New York. I want and don't want to go to New York. Let me rephrase that, because I don't want to go to New York because I fear for my sobriety, so that's why I'm not going. But I want to go to New York because I love New York, and I feel sad if I don't ever visit. But it's not enough. Like, the wanting to go is not enough of the not wanting to go, if that makes sense now. So, and fortunately, thanks, I think, to us, finally taking the right steps and, trusting God and, our spirituality back and going to meetings, then, like, Vegas is providing for us, and we were talking about it today when we were driving. We were like, wait, have we not gone back to LA either since like you went to New York? I think, I don't remember if we went. I think we went one more. Oh yeah, we went in December, because I got back in November. We went December, I think, to LA, yeah. And but then since Christmas I haven't gone anywhere. I got to stay home, which, like I said, it's good and bad for me, because I did enjoy going. That's what people thought. Like, I did, but it was a lot in the sense that because I couldn't handle my sobriety, so I kept messing up, and that was a lot for me, the ups and downs of, like, emotionally and physically and mentally and everything, Today I was so irritated. I was coming out here this morning, and the slider that we have right here, it doesn't work that well, like in the sense of it kind of sticks. So it's hard to open. It takes like a lot of strength. So I was opening it, and then I thought I had opened it enough, and I was kind of like, I was opening it like as I was kind of moving, and I didn't open it just enough. And as I went out, I like clocked the the wall or whatever, the metal part on the other side, right where I have that scar. And I was like, just nailed it, like right where that scar is, from in March, from Drunken Fiascos. And I was like, it was just like a reminder, like, remember that scar? Like it's like, oh yeah, like bad things happen when I drink alcohol. And it was just weird that it was like hit like right there, because it's still like, there's still like this shudder when I think of like, that hurt a lot, and it was all my doing. Like, that was insane. I literally rolled out of a moving car. I mean, like tuck and rolled out of it. And I pretty much hit that side on the pavement, or whatever the road is that you drive on. And, not pavement, what is the road? The black side. Oh, I still have the scar is not even, it's part of it, there's something under the skin. It's the road got under my skin, so it's like black. So, but it's getting better and better. But when I think of that, I like shudder. And then I wasn't sober, so I lost a shoe too. I rolled out of the car, lost it. It was a boot that flew off. I don't know how my boot flew off. So I had one boot. So I had a little bit of a heel, so I did a little bit. And I walked like, I don't know what it was, 4 miles or something like that. I had to go over and over this bike trail thing that once you got on there, there was no getting off. You only had to go back the whole way. I realized that oh no. Oh dear. I got to either go back exactly, there's no, like I didn't know when I thought it would end. It's one of those that goes like next to the highway. So it just only has the exit to exit, I think. And it was a long ways, because I started to realize, because I had to go several exits too. But then I would think, oh, it'll end sooner than, oh dear. And I was living, and I was thinking the whole time, like, I did this to myself. Like, I did this to myself. And I still drank after that, but I always, like, that's been one of those ones that just keeps coming in there. So now, like, I really feel 2025, I learned enough lessons. And I don't know, me and Richard just, everything's going really well because we're getting along. We fought a lot when I was drinking, of course, as most people do. Especially because he wasn't really drinking like me, I was the one drinking a lot. He drinks a little bit, but not like me. And I don't know, everything's really good. So everything's like Gloria listens to her music, everything. Like, ladies went dancing last night. Oh, Annette's been struggling a little bit with, she's feeling ugly, which makes me really sad because it's her teeth. We really, really, really want to get her implants, but they're so expensive. So we were like, we don't know, it has to be something we somehow get. Like, I don't know, like financing or something, but because she's saying she feels like she has no teeth. I see that, that's terrible, They got her the dentures, but she hated them, and we thought those were gonna work, so that was what our plan was. And when she hated the dentures, we didn't have another plan because implants are so expensive. And I mean, we're barely made it. So, but it's just something that we're really, really working towards because we want her just, stay strong. She's such a sport. But yesterday she made this. I'm so proud of her. So Annette now has an ID, which has just given her so much freedom. And she does things that like we're shocked about sometimes, where it's like so impressively shocked, not like bad shocked, like impressively shocked. So once she got her ID, she realized that just opened so many worlds for her. So she just does things without letting anyone know. So for one example, Gloria always writes checks on birthdays or holidays that she doesn't have money in her account. This is what happened. This is why she was writing bum checks. She doesn't know. She does it to her family too. She'll write her family bum checks. She doesn't know there might be nobody. She'll just write you a check. So she wrote Annette a check for Annette's birthday for $50. And we didn't think anything of it because, we're like, whatever. Luckily, we had put some money in that account. But we always ask Annette if she needs any money because we give her cash all the time. And for some reason, she's like, no, I'm fine. And then finally, somehow I find out that there's this this check that went through, and we're like, what is this check for? Like, because there were just no checks are written anymore because Gloria had an issue with that. So she just doesn't usually write checks unless we absolutely have to for something. But then we found out Annette went all the way to the bank, walked herself to the bank, took in her ID, because she does have an account that's linked with Gloria's. She doesn't have her own private account, but it's linked with Gloria's account. And she cashed her check. And we were like so proud of her. And then yesterday, she went and got a library card and got herself a library book. She walked over it. And these places are not close for people like me and you. For Annette, it's nothing. But I've walked when I was drinking, but it's a trek. Annette, it's like nothing to go to these places. But both the bank and the library are right near each other. But it's all the way by the grocery store. She'll walk like, we ask her, she walks like, this one trek is 4 miles each way. It's like 8 miles. That's like just her morning walk. She's a trooper. But they went dancing last night. I think they had a great time. Richard's been really trying to help Gloria monitor her sugar because I guess the doctor was like, because Gloria was sneaking sugar a lot and she wasn't taking her medicine. Because she didn't want to kind of like accept that she couldn't have sugar. Like she didn't like the idea of that. So yesterday Richard got her a coffee that had, it was almond milk and like the sugar-free. And he's like, look, it can still be nice. You can have this. She's like, oh, that's wonderful. I think she thought everything was going to have to taste terrible. We've been getting her all this sugar-free stuff, but she was really locked into like adding sugar to her things, like her tea and coffee. And so they sent her, because she went and took a test, and then they sent her the results, and it was like through the moon. And so she's really been conscious, so that's good. So she's feeling better, because we were getting worried about her because she was sleeping a lot. And so, if you're really struggling where you're struggling with, your diet and sleeping, you really watch your sugar intake because what it does, it goes up and down, you get that sugar rush and then those crashes. So we could really see visible both the caffeine and the sugar with Gloria and Annette. They're like canaries in the coal mine. Richard always calls me a canary in the coal mine because I'm affected by things. Like I have like the most sensitive stomach. It's insane, like everything. Since I was a kid. When I was a kid, my mom used to give me so much Pepto-Bismol, which was probably terrible. Probably didn't help my stomach at all. But that was a solution when you're a kid. I would be like drinking those bottles. Not like the whole thing at once. We were poor, but I mean, at some point I would have had drank the whole bottle. She'd be like, oh, give me some more of that. A little cup. But, my family struggles with digestive issues, and then it didn't help that I wasn't healthy a lot of my life with my eating habits. But my dad has like the irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, so TMI, but that one's not fun. And then I have a lot of family members that had Crohn's. Some of them have passed away, which that one's really bad. Like several people in my family have had Crohn's, which is not good. And like 3 of them have passed, and a couple of them are still alive, but it's not good. So, my sister used to be like the finikiest eater, and when I was younger, I don't know, I had a little bit stronger stomach than I do now, but my sister was like everything. Which I found out was probably a better thing, you know what I mean? I don't think that's a bad thing to be like, I think we think that people that are like being a little more rigid or being a little more structured, like if you're not being that way, you're like, oh, I hate all those people, you're a stupid person. But I think in life that's not a bad thing. I mean, there's a level, you could be too rigid, but like a little structure, because, I for a second, because I've been very structured a lot of my life, and then I've had times that I was completely the opposite, like recently. So I think I felt I deserved a little bit of unstructure after, because I was structured for a very long time, and it's like, and like kind of like, oh, I'm going to, I deserve to drink or whatever. But then I found I just didn't like it, like I like when I was like a certain level of intoxicated where I go, you have that bliss, but that ends real soon. But the rest of the time was just terrific, and I actually just really, I don't know, I like feeling good, which I rarely felt the whole time I was having those up and downs. And it's like, I think it's important to like realize that like a lot of, so a lot of addictions have like these moments of bliss, where you're like, Oh my God, that's the best thing. But if you really like, me and Richard have really like kind of like studied this in our own lives. If you really like capture like the amount of those moments are, if you were to put them in, in a little cylinder or something, or a little bowl, and then capture the like really bad moments when you're doing whatever your addiction is. For me, my strong addiction is the alcohol. I also struggled with, food addiction really bad. So they really are very small amounts of time that you're feeling good. And it's weird how much it can overtake you when you're like, I'm like stopping my whole life for this thing that all it's doing is making me feel terrible. You know what I mean? You're just like, this is horrible. And I'm doing this to myself. Like, to myself. And that's where I'm now, people don't believe I'm sober because they just don't want to believe it. Because they saw that I struggled and they just, I don't know, they want to be sour grapes. I don't know. But I'm telling you, like, once you make that transition of like, I don't want to live the way I was living before. Like when I drank it in, I was like stumbling around getting kicked out like Taco Bell because you can't have open beer at Taco Bell, I found out. Which I know that. I'm sitting there drinking my beer, having my taco, and they said, ma'am, it's like the same time you had an open beer at Taco Bell. You can't be doing that. Please don't come back again, or we'll have to, call the authorities on you if you keep going back. You can't drink. This isn't a bar. Excuse me. My husband didn't want me to drink at home either. I don't know. It's like I was sitting in a bush with my beer. So the cops don't, because I other times sat on, too exposed, and then the cops, you get a call because the girl's passed out, but I never got arrested, knock on wood. It's like bamboo or whatever, but I guess that's what. But I said, how many times am I going to test fate? So I was like, the final time I just said, I was in a bush again, and it was cold. And I was just like, why am I sitting here? Like, I could be home in my own bed because it was getting really late at night. And well, not far from home. I just had to walk my drunk bum up this, but I'm like, oh. So I go, fine. And I walked up the hill. But I was like, why did I do this to myself? So that's why I don't know. I'm taking it very seriously, and I just want a better life. And I do laugh and have a good time at every meeting, and it's funny because people were saying that, and they're saying, oh, you'll fit in good at this meeting, because, we go to these same meetings, but different people lead each time, so, like, they may have never seen you if they only go. Some people don't go every day. Like, we go every day, but now, we used to go every day to the same meeting, then we really got to know people, but now we're going, like, off and on to one meeting and the other meeting, so it's like every other day, but the same meetings. So you really get to kind of, but some people only go certain days a week, so you can actually never meet certain people if you're only going on and off days. And so like today, there was 2 new leaders, and which is just, it's just people that have been sober for a certain amount of time that want to help out by leading the meeting. And they were just awesome. Like, they made me and Rich both laugh. It was just a great meeting, and it's like they both commented saying like, oh, like, we're happy you guys laugh and smile, because in this meeting we laugh and smile even though, things were really bad, and all of us have done some really bad things, but something about when you go into the meetings and you just feel accepted, and you hear people's stories, like, 'cause some of my stories are so bad, I think, to me, that I don't want to share with non-alcoholics, because I'm like, oh dear Lord. But then when you hear the other alcoholics, you're like, oh, it's similar enough. Might not be the exact story, but you're like, oh yeah, that's just as bad as mine. Like, and then you feel really accepted. So I was saying, I just feel really accepted there, which is funny because, I don't know if my dream life was to be accepted in AA, but I am an alcoholic, and so I am accepted. Like, I have a great time when I'm there. Like, and I'm smiling the whole time, which is like almost weird. Like, I'm like, why am I smiling? Like, I'm in an AA meeting. I don't know, but I was like, I'm like smiling validly, like it's not a fake smile. I'm laughing. People really make me laugh. Like, I like belly laugh in there sometimes. Things people say, and it's just refreshing. So I know I sound like one of those like church choir people, like, preaching from the choir. But I grew up religious, and I was so anti-religion, and I thought of like going back to church, because Richard was like, we should get some spirituality. This is before we decided to go to AA, even before probably I even started drinking again. Just, he said we should get some spirituality back in our life. He's like, you grew up that way. And I was like, I just don't want to go to church. It's just like, there's just too much stuff, too much knowledge I have that makes me, like I see too much hypocrisy in the church. And even the donation part is very different from the two things, and I don't, like how some establishments do it. So there's a lot of things that I don't agree about, and it would just cause a lot of animosity for me. So what I like about AA is there's nothing they force you to do. They just have, things that they suggest, and, they say come to meetings and get a sponsor and all that. But I like that. You might go to a meeting that people argue, but all the meetings we go to, they don't allow arguing. I mean, if people aren't arguing with each other, sorry, they're still chatting me a little. Why? I don't know if I like chapstick or not, or like whatever brand it is, not chapstick. Sometimes I don't know if it makes my lips more chapped, or like it makes it like flake off, or I don't know. Anyways, I'm a weird person, but I am feeling really like loved. We're really like loved. I know we're new, so we have to do that, but it feels really good. It feels genuine, And I know that it's genuine because I know that it's exciting. Like I'm already excited when I see people that are newer than me in the meetings, and because you know how hard it is, and especially when you're new, it's so fresh, and it's still probably a real struggle. So those people need the meetings the most, and it's good. I don't know. I just feel like it's easier in life to be negative, and it's more popular to be negative. You get more views to be negative, but negativity breeds negativity. So what's going to happen is if you are only focusing on negativity, your life is going to be negative. Like, you can't live a positive life if you're pinpointing the negative things. Does that make sense? Like that's why I was really with the channels, and even we did it, where if we decided to do a channel where we were just hating on another person, in no way is that going to be a positive, or like not even a channel, a video or a blog or a live stream that was like, I'm going to hate on this other streamer or on this topic or whatever. There's no way that stream is going to be positive. It doesn't matter if some positive words were said, or like the people that love you say, oh, you're wonderful, and look, your bum or whatever. But the whole topic is negativity, so you're going to breed negativity in the stream. So all of the people are going to comment negativity. It's going to be people that want negativity, which is more popular. And that's why it's very difficult for people to get out of that kind of like the mainstream that they're flowing of negativity. I mean, look at the news, it's all negative. I always said as a kid, can they just have like not such horrible deaths every day? Like find like the worst things that occurred? Can they find like positive things that occurred? And they do that a little bit, but those are more on like the talk shows. Now it's mainly like some silly video that went viral that's just like some animal or something, but it's not really like the same as the amount of focus they put on the negativity of the news. I don't like the news for that reason, because it never makes me feel better. It makes me worry about more things. It makes me aware of things that I didn't really need to be aware of, because if I can't help it in any way, like when it's like way out of my control, I don't really need to know about it, because now it's just going to cause concern or worry or fear or all these things that I don't need. So it's not necessary for me. And most of the things that occur on the local news or any of the news, like I find out before it ends up on the news. You know what I mean? In the sense, of one thing with social media, but also if you live there. Like a lot of times me and Richard would see the things happen before it ended up on the news, because we drove around a lot and we'd be out and about. And it'd be like, an accident or an event or a fire or whatever. Sometimes we'd be filming stuff before the news. But it's like, they're always going to be afterwards. You know what I mean? So I don't really need them to tell me how to live my life or worry about my life, whatever. So unless it's like prevalent in my life, I don't really need to focus on them. And so I know there's like a lot going on right now with the politics, and it's just super upsetting. And it's so easy to jump in on that train and just get in there and, argue with everybody. But I'm already tired of the arguments, even though, some horrific events have started. Like, I'm already tired of the people that are kind of using it to just catapult themselves to just more negativity and more topics and more controversy. And the more I watch like these, we watch all the late night shows. Richard loves the late night shows, all of them. We watch Seth Meyers, we watch Jimmy Kimmel, we watch Jimmy Fallon, we watch Bill Maher. I don't know if he's late night, but he does the real time or whatever. And we watch Stephen Colbert. I'm very sad he's not gonna be doing it past May. And we watch who's some of the ones? We watch The Daily Show. All these different ones, but I try to stay out of politics. I don't like politics. I've never been a political person. Like I don't comment on it. But what I don't like is that all of the shows. I mean, they probably were always pretty political, but it's like it's just taken over. Where that's the only topic is politics, and it gets frustrating. It's like all the jokes are political, like everything. It's kind of like, can we like get a new topic, you know? And some of the guys I can barely watch anymore because they lost any direction other than like one direction of the show, and it actually becomes boring. But it's hard because the people want the strife and they want the cutting edge of like what just happened that was the most controversial today. So all of the shows, the news and the late night shows, are all kind of like trying to, you know, jump on the trains of what's going to get them views, which is not necessarily the best way to do your show, but that, you know, it's hard with, you know, I'll make money this way or whatever, but I don't know if it's long term. So I like the idea of like making a solid, positive something that you might, you know, be small to grow, but then eventually just takes off because positivity is hard when you're being negative. But the more you're around someone positive, it's actually hard to be negative. Does that make sense? Like Richard is really good about, he knows when I'm really depressed. He does it on purpose, which is really good. He knows that he needs to be very positive. Sometimes he can't take it anymore though, because I'll just be like, I can be very negative. When I get depressed, I'm like, I am the biggest grump. I don't want to do anything but sleep and just sulk and just be a pain in the neck. And he's like, you want to do this or that? No. And he's like, I don't want to do anything, you know. But then I want to complain that I'm bored or whatever. I don't ever say bored, but I'm like, you know, just sitting there. And he's like, well, why don't we get out of the house, you know, to sit here? No. And he will be very positive. Like he, you know, really, but then there's usually a point. And then like all hell breaks loose in the sense when we're both being negative. It's just like this colossal thing, like, you know. And that's usually how most of the fights start. It's usually one of us. It's not always me, but it's often me. It's usually one of us was being more negative that day. So like if one of us, you know, woke up on the right side of the bed, the other one woke up on the wrong side of the bed, then it seems to be the one that woke up on the right side of the bed, you know, for a while is putting up with the negativity of the other one, you know, because we do it to each other actually. I do it probably more to him than he does to me, to be honest, because I can be a real grump, especially in the mornings. So the longer I'm sober, the more I'm nice in the mornings. But when I drink, and for a while after, you know, quite a while after it takes, where I'm still just extremely tired, extremely irritable, extremely grumpy, and the first thing I want to do is probably drink in the morning. So it's like anything else, I'm like, leave me alone, you know. So that takes a while to get out of that phase, and usually during that time what would happen is he'd be, you know, like being nice and things, and I just snap. And it was almost like I was like waiting for him to finally just snap at me, because I was like tired of like his positivity, like stop being so positive, you know what I mean? I'm gonna make you mad, so like you stop being positive, you're irritating me because I don't feel good. This is the time where I talk about, it's not that I don't want him to be positive, have a positive life. It's like when you're in such a negative thing, you really frown upon positivity. Like it's just like, oh, stop with that happy-go-lucky nonsense. Get out of here with your church and AA and your Sprite and your I'm gonna drink my beer. And like a lot of people that I know, like are addicts, especially like alcoholics, are so dang grumpy. I was so angry, and it would start out I'd be happy, you know. So I don't know, people probably witnessed a lot of my nonsense over 2025. But I start with like being super excited and like super go like I want to give everything away. I don't know why I'm like the most generous. I want to buy everything. I want to buy everyone in the bar drinks. I want to buy everyone I know everything. I want like life of the. And then at some point, usually not many people know why, nor do I get angry. And then it's just havoc for the rest of the night. And then I'm just like colossal avalanche. And that's kind of the mode I do with alcohol. And so neither are good. You know, the super gregarious, you know, trying to have everyone be my best friend, showboat in a sense. This is what I was talking about, you know, it's like you gotta have the humility. That's not good, nor is the, now I'm gonna yell at everyone. And it's probably to go together because in a way you want a reaction from people that you probably don't get. And you don't necessarily know what it is, not like that's what I thought. But you know, like let's say you bought everyone all this stuff, you know, you pay for everyone's drinks or whatever, and then maybe they were mean to you or something as you thought. Then you're gonna be like, F you, and that's usually what happens. So it is usually where it coincides where like the person that's buying all the drinks then gets mad at everyone because they're like, wait, now I bought you all this and you didn't respond. So it's a like a control thing too, because you're trying to control the room. So I'm really letting go of control, which is huge for me because when I drink, completely lose all control. Like, so I am two extremes. Like, I'm a control freak when I'm sober, and then I, like, have absolutely no control when I drink. Like, anything goes. I mean, not anything, but it gets pretty wild. It's not good. Nonsense comes out of my head. So, I keep this shit. I get these, like, when I think of these, so this is me humbling myself. But what's hard with the control. So what's hard with an alcoholic that I'm learning is we like to control, but we don't think that we are. We think we're like subtly, but we are like control freaks. Well, we might know in certain stages, but then we think other times we're not. But we are control freaks. But the thing that I'm really relinquishing, which is important for me right now, because right now, if I didn't relinquish control, I would still be drinking, because what I'm relinquishing control is I let Richard do all the shopping. I can't go. Like, I don't trust myself to go. Like, every time that I've pretty much gone shopping in the last, year that I was drinking, like, if I went by myself, I would end up buying something that I shouldn't have of alcohol, and I just am like letting him do that, and like I don't go anywhere by myself right now, which is hard for me because I'm someone that I like to have like freedom and independence, but like I don't trust myself right now. And so like I'm so appreciative that I have someone that can literally like kind of like watch me, because I do think I needed that, otherwise it would have to probably be treatment, because like, that's why I don't want to go to New York, because I don't know what I would do if I'm all by myself. So, like, I don't go to the store now. And it's, so, like, I would have to walk quite a ways. And then Richard would know if I walked anywhere, because it would take a long time for me to get alcohol. So, in a way, I'm kind of in a sober house here, because there is no alcohol. There's no way for me to get alcohol. Richard, like, knows that I took the car, too, anything, and be like, and then I would only do these things to get alcohol. Like, if I just randomly left, or if I randomly left with the car, he would be like, you're getting alcohol, because otherwise, why didn't you, just talk to me about it? We often go together. So it's a very obvious thing. So when I don't want to drink, it's very obvious, like, I don't need to do these things. Like, I don't need to do the shopping. I don't need to do the driving. Like, he can handle those things, and it really takes a burden off of me, where I'm now not even, like, tested of like, what am I gonna do? It's just like, I'm not even having it be an option. And some people don't have that luxury, because you don't have someone with you all the time. But if you do, or that's your sponsor, like, that can be so helpful. And it sucks the times that you're like where you kind of realize you put yourself in a box, like if you want to drink, but you did it to yourself, and you're like, there's just no way out of this one, and you're just like, okay, but it's a good box to be in, and it's growth, and you're getting better. But it's good because you put yourself like, oh man, I really cut off all my options there, to sneak around here. How am I gonna, like, and I did. I told Richard everything that I had done of sneaking in the past. So now he's on red alert too. because I want, so those days that you go, and you have your moments, but then I go, no, it's good. And I was honest, so I was able to have it be where I can't like sneak anymore, because it's very hard here to sneak anyways. It's been so, I told him a couple ways I was doing it, and now it's not going to work, because it was already difficult, and if it ever happened, but he pretty much knows if I want to go to the store, like, I'm going to drink. So he's just like, he gets now irritated. He's like, why do you need to go to the store, Joy? And, something like that. So we just kind of come to terms where he does the shopping, and like Richard and Ed are at the grocery store right now. They're getting some, they went last night and got a ton of groceries for Gordon and Ed. But then we ran out of we like the beef. They actually love steak. They eat steak like all the time. They love steak. And his favorite thing is steak. I prefer the burgers over the steak. If I were to choose like a beef, I prefer a net love steak. And so people used to get on us and be like, oh, you guys, no, the steak's actually more expensive. We're actually getting we're actually getting a cheaper meat right now. They had it on sale, and we're getting the 85, which is cheaper, and it was on sale. So people kept thinking, no, we wanted nine. These ladies, they eat steak sometimes like twice, sometimes 3 times a day, but definitely twice a day. But only because Richard gets these good deals. We can't pay the full price for steaks. They have this wonderful thing at the Smiths and the Albertsons that if you come at certain times, they'll have all of these that are markdowns from the day before where they need to sell them that day, and you can get some fabulous deals. But it's first come, first serve, and you have to kind of know when they put out the stuff. We're just getting good at knowing which time they put it out certain days. He's like, oh, this day they put it at this time on this day, because they get swiped up real quick. And then it's like, oh, no steak today, because the regular price for steaks, no, that's outlandish these days. But if you get them discounted, that's doable. But it's still about the same price as the beef, so, because steak is pretty dang expensive, the beef that we get. But everyone is feeling really good in the house. Annette is, unfortunately, she feels a little ugly, and she feels a little bit overweight, which is unfortunate because it's actually due to her medicine. The doctor had recommended put her on another medicine, but we asked her if she wanted to switch, and this one was going to be a pill every day, and she didn't want to do that, because I think like she deep down knows like she's not going to do it, and we've witnessed that, because they'll be like where she doesn't want to do it, and then if it's a couple of days and she hasn't done it, like you can't get her to ever do it again. And so right now she's very open to do the injection, which is once a month. She's never been against going. I give her a heads up like about 2 days before her appointment, and I say, no, we're going, see your doctor. I say, call him by name, and let's get your injection. And she's like, okay, great. And she's never been like, oh, I don't want it. But when we were early on giving her the pills when we first got here, she eventually rejected it. She didn't want them, and then we can't force her. So we are very nervous, but that one supposedly doesn't cause much weight gain. So it's her medicine that's causing, because she exercises like crazy and she doesn't eat that much. So she's getting frustrated because she's used to being thinner most of her life, and it's from the medicine. So we feel frustrated for her, but we asked her if she wants to switch, because her doctor noticed too. And then they knew that was the warning. They said she's going to gain a lot of weight on this medicine. But it works so well for her in every other way. So it's frustrating. I know probably some people struggle with that if they have a medicine that works for them, but then causes some other side effect that's not so good. But you're like, what do I do? And we're nervous if we change it, the other medicine might not work as good for her condition. And then it's like, okay, now she's thin, but she's miserable, It's like, so it's really tough. So it's like, what do you do there? But it's tough because she's not like eating anything wrong, really. It's, the medicine is just messing with her levels or hormone levels or whatever it does. And so she can't help it, and it's just frustrating her so much. And we know she's frustrated, and we're trying to help in the sense of like monitoring what she's eating, but like it's not just that. So I feel bad for her in that sense. But Gloria's feeling much better by cutting back on her sugar because she's diabetic, and she's taking her medicine now. She has like 5 or 6 medicines to take that she wasn't taking that are like all diabetic related. And they were like, why aren't you taking these? And she wouldn't listen to us. So finally they sent her a serious letter, so she's taking it seriously. Because she doesn't like to be treated like a kid. We're like, if we were giving her medicine, we tried, she didn't like it. So, but then she stops taking it, forgets or whatever. hopefully she stays on it, because it's only been, less than a week, so she's been very good about it. But this is the first time she got such a stern letter, but there's other times that she kind of knew, and then she took it seriously from it, and then she just slacks off. So fingers crossed. I told Bridge to kind of, she won't let me, because, me and Gloria, we get along now, but there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened in the past of like where I got very angry at her, and so I hurt her feelings a couple times. So she kind of is like a little standoffish with me at times, even though we love each other. But I tend to not go like tell her to take her medicine. I'll tell Richard to, certain things. Like, I'll clean up and do all that kind of stuff, but I'm not gonna I don't ever tell Gloria what to do, because that was kind of times where we butt heads in the past, so I don't ever tell her. I'll give her any instructions, and let her do what she wants, and then I just pick up messes and, try to keep everything tidy. But early on, I think we try to kind of tell Gloria what to do, and that did not go well, which we were young. I know we were not that much younger in the sense of age, but our mentality was very different 2 years ago versus now. We have grown up so much, and me going to New York and going through these ups and downs with the alcohol matured me a lot. I went through times where I was super immature, but on the other side now, I'm becoming more mature through the whole experience. And just going for an entire year to New York, basically every other month, the amount of knowledge that you get in that city, I don't know, I felt even before we moved to New York, I felt like we were children, even though we were, 2021, I was born in 1985. I was in my 30s, but I felt still like a young, but and then after living in New York for a while, we came back and we felt like old people. And it's good and bad. It definitely ages you and hardens you. But then there's the good and bad thing about knowledge and about experience and life's struggles is when you're young, you're really naive, and you can be very arrogant, and you can be very disrespectful, and you can be very inconsiderate is a big one. And as you get older, you finally see your place in that. When you're young, everyone is doing something to you. You know what I mean? And that can happen. And I think addictions keep you being immature. Where it's everyone is attacking me, everyone hates me, everyone being mean to me. But as you do, with sobriety, you have to do amends. As on the steps, then you do start to see, oh, no, it really was me. With a lot of the things. And most people, it is you, because how you respond to another person is your choice. I used to get in big fights with Richard about this, arguments, not fights, arguments about, he would say, early on when we were together, he would say, you made me do this, your action. I said, as much as whatever I did was probably horrific, and often if I was drinking, I was but I can't make you do something. You responded to what I did this way, but I cannot control your response. So you can't blame another person. You can't say, because, and it's easy with the alcohol, you can a little bit with that one, if they just don't drink, but still you play a role as the, if it's your spouse or partner or whoever, if you're the alcoholic. How you respond is your choice. You can never blame another person for how you respond. You can't say, I did this action because you did that. No, I did that and you chose to do that action. You could have chose to do a different action. It might seem valid, you got really angry, whatever the action is where it seemed valid, because maybe someone did a really terrible thing and then the person's action was a pretty terrible thing too, but that was valid. But still, the person didn't have to do that. You can always just be the nicer person. It's I don't want to be the nice person. But you can, people can be so mean. And you don't have to respond mean. And it's that's what you learn. And it's hard with social media. Because social media is a lot about attacking other channels. And so that's where we kind of stepped off for a minute. There's a lot of factors. But one was, it was too much negativity for us in the beginning of this journey for me. because I just needed people that were going to be positive. And I found that the meetings, it's all positivity. And so I didn't want to be on social media for a minute because I had experienced so much negativity. But now I'm feeling there's a lot more positivity. But, you know, I don't even read most of the comments most of the time. Anyways, Richard reads a lot of social media, but a lot of the ones that are coming in are much more positive. I'm saying, like, wow, you guys are doing the live stream. I would like to, they were so negative, but Richard's saying he probably could start reading them more now because they're much more positive. But it's hard out here in the sun anyways. But when I'm inside. But for a while, it was hard for me to just take in all that negativity. You know, and then we turned really negative when I was doing that. So I decided to just kind of shut it out and just try to focus on positivity. But I hear that it's getting more positive, so that makes me happy. With you know, it's like less people are hating because I think it's easier to be positive, like I said, when I'm being positive as the blogger. But when I'm being negative and yelling at everyone and calling people names and saying horrific things, well, yeah, all my people watching are going to be just as negative at, you know, at me and at everyone else. So I'm realizing like this might be the less popular way to go, but for my life, I feel like it's more important for me to be positive every day than have a like huge driving channel that's all negativity. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, because that's going to ultimately make me unhappy as a person, where I would rather this take a while because positivity is not as popular, for people to just kind of like, you know, come here if you want some positive thoughts for the day is what I'm going to like focus on when I do my blogs, and just, you know, it's encouraging each other. And that's not as popular to people, then, you know, that's fine, because I am not going to like succumb to like, even if it's just like, oh, this is a popular topic, you talk about it. I was like, yeah, but I would have to, you know, it'd be a real negative tone talking about that, you know, certain things, you know. And I said, I just don't want, because what happens is if I do a blog and I'm being negative, I get off and I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a really bad mood, and I'm like, you know, and then I go watch that person, look at them, that stupid thing, and I'm complaining about the other bloggers, everything they're doing wrong, and da-da-da-da. And then, oh, why are they getting views when they're so stupid? Or, you know, like, I would get like that, but I don't anymore, it's ridiculous. But I was feeling that I'd be hating on people because I was jealous they had it. And it's ridiculous because, like, you're going to have the views or the popularity or the whatever it is that you are searching if you're supposed to have it and when you're supposed to have it. But, like, to force it by creating a whole life of negativity all around yourself just for, I don't know, like, there's a lot of, you know, channels that have been brought down over the years, you know, some of those real famous people that, I forget that one guy, that was like Alex something, but because they started to just go down these bad rabbit holes of just really bad things they were saying, because it and they can be huge channels that, you know, lose their channels, and they go, oh, what did I do wrong? I said all this other stuff, but you're like, yeah, but didn't you think there was going to be a limit? Like, didn't you think there was going to be a thing that was too far, you know? And they think, well, because since all this other stuff was allowed, why wasn't this allowed? You're like, well, maybe the other stuff shouldn't have been allowed either. Maybe you were just like, you know, walking that tightrope. And I do feel like social media is trying to get rid of a lot of the negativity, because people are getting hurt through social media. You know, like there was a lot of that bullying that was going on that, you know, they had to stop a lot of that. They don't allow that. You can't even like write really nasty things to people. Like it'll get censored on a lot of the ones, just you literally can't write like nasty things. Like it'll say that, like especially with the AI now, with a lot of the things that say that we're going to censor your comment before it's even posted. But early on, there was just no censor with the people were just lashing out horrible things to people. You know, kids were, you know, hurting themselves over this and stuff. So, hurting others, and, you know, kids, adults, everyone. I don't know. I just feel like with everything going on, because like, I feel like, okay, we had all this crazy stuff going on with our country, especially right now. And people were just kind of like, loving the complaining about it. You know what I mean? Like it was like, as much as like they were acting like they wanted it to get better, like I think a lot of the people were just loving like just every day complaining or praising, whatever which way you went, but And then some new things have occurred that it's making people like kind of wake up a little bit, but still like, I'm kind of like, you guys are still just being negative. Like, aren't you seeing like this is like this constant negativity? It's like it's like just taking over like everyone. It's just negative, and then you're seeing it now with the younger people, negative. But that's what's popular. That's what sells, and it's unfortunate. And a lot of people are now kind of like waking up a little bit of like, maybe there are some more important things going on than us just arguing all the time about this, that, and the other things that are not important so much, you know. So, and then not focusing on the things that are important. So I don't know. It's a lot going on right now, but I feel like now's the best time to like start just being positive yourself. Because I do feel like there's a lot of people transitioning to positivity in 2026. I know there's a lot of people that were saying they wanted to get sober in 2026. And I'm not saying, hey. I'm saying like I was hearing that a lot through a lot of celebrities and stuff. Like, it's almost like a lot of people are kind of like starting to realize like, you know, alcohol is really bad for you or whatever vice they're doing that is being detrimental to them. So I feel like if any, you know, parade you want to jump on, a train you want to get on the positivity one, because I feel like the negativity one's going away. Like, it's just, I think people are getting old of it. Like, I'm tired of seeing the negativity. Like, I'm just tired of it. Like, I'm just tired of everyone complaining about everyone else. No matter which side you're on, everyone's complaining about the other one. You know what I mean? You know, I don't even get involved. So I'm just sitting here and just hearing everyone complain. Like, to me, it's just like a bunch of people complaining. Because I don't really have an opinion either way for most of the things. You know, I have some that I'll keep to myself. But most of the stuff, I just stay away. But to me, it's just like, you know, like talking heads. And when you kind of take a step back, it just seems silly. And then you realize, well, which things are like actually relevant to me? Like which things, like even if it's like, oh, well, this is going on in this third world country, or this is going on, but does that affect you in any way or not? Or is it something that you can do something about? Besides like maybe start some charity, but is this something that you can really do something about? Like, or I mean, if you want to start charity, great, but if that's like, so is it something you need to worry about? You know, like certain things where it's even could be, so I try to like focus on what's important in my life because it is overwhelming the amount of sadness and terror and negativity and horror is. I honestly am someone that I cannot watch gore. I can't at all. Like it's ridiculous. Like I am like a very young child when it comes to horror movies or anything like where there's blood and guts. Like, and it is so popular now. The games that the kids play and stuff, it's like all blood. I can't do it. Like I have to close my eyes. I'm like, whoever watches it, tell me when the blood's over. Like I can't watch that stuff. I can't watch the stabbing and they're so graphic now. And I'm just like, why do we want to see that? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm like, because I think about it, and it's like, oh, it's horrific. Especially if it's, like, a horrible, like, or, like, the sounds of an injury, like a breaking leg. Why? You know, they had to cut that out of sports because there was incidents where something was so horrific, and it was, like, on live television, so that's why they don't show the person that gets injured in sports, because there was, like, where people's, you know, knees popping out of their leg, and oh, that's not good for the kids to watch, you know. So that's why it's not a heartless thing where they don't show the person. It's in case there's like horrific like injuries, you don't need to watch that on live television. But I can't stand most of the movies because I've gone so gory, and I'm like, and horror movies don't even do it. So this is a funny story. I used to be a vegan. Now I'm kind of like the opposite. I like love meat, but I was a vegan for 11 years, vegetarian 12. So I was vegetarian 1 year, and then I was like, oh, vegan's the way to go. And then I did that for 11 years. And it was all when I was in the Air Force. Well, not all when I was in the Air Force. Before I went in the Air Force, but when I was in the Air Force. And one of my first boyfriends in the Air Force, I hate horror movies. Like, I hate them. Those ones, because that's all it is gore, and I just think they're dumb. I don't like them at all. Don't take me to any of them. Yeah. And I was a vegan. So I I meet this guy through the Air Force, but we had, I had kind of interacted through the gym, and we go on our first date, and he takes me to a steak joint, and took me to a horror movie, and I was just like, and I didn't want to say anything, because I was like, oh man, he'd be messed up on both things there. So I ordered like a salad, and he was like, you don't want to like get meat? I was like, no, I'm gonna go with the salad, because I was like strong vegan at the time. And then the movie, I was like literally like trying to cover my eyes, but he was like, oh, and like, because I do not like to look at the. So I had a really good friend at the time, a guy friend, and when I told him the date, he was like, oh man, that guy just totally messed up that day. 2 strikes right there, and it is, to this day, Richard always once in a while tries to put on it. I'm like, don't be sneaking those horror movies on. I know the pacing of them, and I'm like, no, I know this, no, I don't want to watch it, no. And then I closed my eyes. We watched that one show, which was so hard to watch, but I was able to predict when there was going to be graphic stuff, was that Squid Games. At first, I was like, why is anyone watching this show? This is horrific. But it's a really good show. But I had to like close my eyes whenever they were going to do any of their things. I was like, no, I'm good. Tell me when the game's over. I'm good. Don't need to see how everyone horrifically passed away. I'm good. But yeah, I love sports. So earlier, I don't know if you guys were here. I love predicting, and I'm not great, and I'm not horrible. I'm hit and miss. But I love doing it, and it's, I don't know, it doesn't mean anything. I'm not like, oh, I'm this predictor, psychic. But I really get a kick out of like not knowing anything, not even knowing who's the favorite is, and just like going down the list, all of the games, all the teams, and just picking like from just like what I think. And I've won a lot, but I've lost a lot. So it's like, it's not a reliable thing. But today I was so close to one of them that we just did another one, so I don't know how that one will go. But can you believe that some of those on a $2 bet I could win you for? The likelihood of that is like not gonna happen. That's why it pays out so much. But I have so much fun with these things, and we only like doing these obnoxious bets. That so often we're like, oh gosh, darn it! We have like a 10-leg parlay, and it's like missing like 1 basket. Yesterday we were missing 2 baskets from Curry, who got injured in the game, and that was the end of one of our parlays. That was like 10 legs. And then if he had just stayed in the game and not got injured, we would have got it. And we were like, just stuff like that. We're like, oh gosh, darn it. But then we'll do it again and again and again, because I'm not really trying to like win money. I mean, if we do great, that's helpful. But you're not gonna, if that's your plan. Bad plan. So we just do it for fun. That's why we do tiny bets that are massive, because we get a kick out of watching them like get checked off. And then it's always a bummer when something goes off right away. Like, oh, there goes that whole thing down the toilet. But when it's one that's going for a long time, it makes it so fun. It doesn't even matter if you're winning $5. It's just like, oh, I picked it right, And it's pretty fun. So it makes the game so interesting, and it gets them just like so neck and neck sometimes, because you're trying to get we do prop bets. Prop bets are the things like Richard loves to do the first touchdown ones, but I don't like those ones, because if you get it wrong, that one sucks. Then you ruin your whole game, But if you get it right, then you're like, oh, this is going to be a good game. But then you get something else wrong. You're, oh, man, I got the first touchdown. Like who you predicted who was going to get it, We often predict who's getting a touchdown, but the first one's a tough one. Because if they don't get it, or if the wrong team gets it, you're done. There goes your whole bet. Are you back? Yeah. Do you like to chat with them?
Sure.
Yeah.
5 minutes, why not?
Yeah, and I'm going to make my nibblers, if you don't mind. Do you want me to make your burgers?
Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. Would you like me to make your burgers?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get them? Did you get the 8? Were they still on sale? Or no?
No, they went down to 1 lane.
Wait, what?
On Lake Mead. That's why it took so long.
Oh, gee.
They ate the Whole Foods. So I was just sitting like light after light after light. It was 1 lane.
Oh, my gosh.
Right, so finally got down to Whole Foods, and they didn't have any beef.
Did you go to Sprouts?
So I went the back way to Sprouts, because it was backed up both ways.
Jeez.
So I went the back way to Sprouts, and yes, I did. I wasn't sure if you wanted 85 or 93, though. They had both, so I got 1 of each.
We're going back and forth, but it's cheaper. It's cheaper, but
sometimes it tastes better, too.
Yeah, I do
One
like.
of each, either
Yeah,
side.
I'm gonna make the 93 then right now.
Okay, I'm gonna check in with you guys. Come on.
Yeah, Rich is gonna. It's actually so warm out here. I should have worn something not like this, and you forgot to bring me lotion.
Oh, but yes, I did forget that.
Yeah, I just
Hey, look at that.
All right. Here, you gotta take the microphone from me. They can't hear you. Thank you for shopping.
You bet. You bet. You bet. You know, I don't feel like doing enough checks today. I'm feeling actually quite lazy. I know. I just feel like sitting out in the sun right now is what I feel like doing. It's one of those beautiful days. I know. Hey, what's up, HFF? Jedi Rich here. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. Ah, man. Feels good. I kind of want to get back out in the sun. When you're in the shade, it's a little chilly. This was pretty much when we were back. I know we reference the cave a lot, but you guys that are old like me, you guys know. Like when you look back upon your whole span of life, years are missing, right? When you're in the office, like what significant thing happened besides birthdays and that. But then there are times when there are like a significant thing in your life that really changed or recoursed it. It's like those things stick in your mind, you know. And I have quite a few of those memories. I pivoted quite a bit, so it's when I reflect back on it, a lot of times I look back on and I'm like, hey, you know, these are the things that were very impactful. I mean, big periods of my life that caused changes. Maybe you guys have something like that too. I don't know. I mean, is there a period of life you look back, had any change? I mean, I look at some people. I mean, out there, you know, the creators out there, and I see like, okay, well, you know, they can have the excuse they're younger than me, but also I don't see any change in them year after year after year after year. But I look at their videos, like they seem to be very little growth or change even. What I mean by that is that I think isn't the phrase that like change is inevitable but growth is optional. So it's like, but in their case, I don't even see change. Oh man, absolutely fantastic day here in Las Vegas. The weather is, you know, I should probably let's go sit in the weather. You know, why am I sitting in the shade right now? It makes little or no sense. Oh yeah. Okay, this will make more sense. Yes, I believe this makes more sense. Do you all agree this makes more sense? I would take my shirt off, but no, it's not a modesty thing. You guys know that. It's more along the lines that it's a physics, right? We are in astrophysics, because we are, you know, where we're at, like, what is it, January 31st? Okay. Well, we're not even halfway to the equinox. So what that means is that no matter how hard I try and huff and puff and puff and puff, that the rays that would, you know, give me any sort of vitamin D or any of those positive vibes are going to shoot right past me because the angle of the sun. It's wintertime. We have to wait until at least springtime. Can you guys hear that music that she's playing? It's pretty good. I'm liking it.
Hey y'all, Anthony here. I'm partnering with Chelsea Hewitt and running.
Afternoon Delight, I think they call that song. Yeah, they you know, Joy is really liking those meetings. Did you guys hear the reviews? She's been saying she absolutely loves the meetings. So You know, it's kind of the way I dig it. It's kind of nice and chill. Not so turbulent, you know. Oh, you think I should unblock some people? Just create a little chaos. All right. You know, I'm thinking we can do a Hurt Saturday tonight, if you guys want to. We were just too tired last night. The ladies went dancing. They're the hummingbirds arguing over their territory. You know, and yeah, so we called it early tonight, you know, last night. I mean, same time every night. I mean, I think for Joy to stay up past 7 p.m., it's pretty rare. she's early age. She's just like, and then she like a grandma, just kind of like goes to bed at 7 p.m. and then up at the crack of dawn. You know, it's pretty funny, I think. Well, hey. Well, I have to, I figure out, you know, if we don't stream, then if I don't give the haters something to clip or anything, then what am I going to do? I should say, what are they going to do? Oh, you're snowed in the wood? Oh, no. Well, could be worse, I guess. I wouldn't mind it, you know, talking about like pivots in my life, and I often reflect back to my days working in Aspen as a bartender, you know. Wish I would have stayed there longer, you know. No reason why I didn't other than I just didn't feel like it at the time, which is weird because it's like, anyways, point is that was one of my times, and I was in Aspen a lot in my head. And I think back to the snowstorms and getting snowed in.
Where's the keys?
Right there. Okay. I'm done anyways. I'm about ready to wrap her up. Okay, kids. Listen. I really enjoyed having a little chat with you. I hope to talk to you guys real soon. I've got some chores I have to do around the house here. And just little stuff because it's Saturday. So you got to try to get stuff done on your Saturdays. All right, I'm just messing with you guys. All right, have a good one.